Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome back to Venting with Us. Yes, and I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. It is officially over. Sorry, guys. Though we still have our Christmas trees. Are you one of those that keeps it up after New Year's, or do you take it down right away? This was a huge debate when I was discussing this with a couple of my friends. Some of them actually take it down the day after Christmas. I like to keep my Christmas tree up the week after New Year's. I like to keep it up a little bit longer. I am not one of those that puts it up, November 1st. So I do but then I like to clean it all up. So usually like that first weekend of New Year's is when it comes down. Um, so that's when I will be taking down all my stuff, which is crazy because you put so much time to put it all up and then to take it all down. It's like, you know, but I do hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. And now we're going to be going into 2026. So I'm excited for that. Though I do like Christmas, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, but I do love 20 I do love I was going to say 2026. I do love New Year's, and I hope that all those couples are getting ready, especially the females, to be smooching when the ball drops, So on today's there we go. First word. Oh God, that didn't take long at all. So on today's episode, we are gonna go into Walt Disney movies that have all the scandals in it, and I am just gonna prepare you now that if you are one of those Disney people that loves Disney and you don't want to hear about this and scandals, turn the video off now wherever you're watching it. And please also get people to follow the show and bring up our numbers. We're doing well. I'd like to start climbing those even more. That's my goal for 2026. Get more followers now. I've been working on social media. Now it's time to really deep dive into the show. Okay, so I gave you a chance. So now we're going to talk about it. How this came upon this topic was my girlfriend is a huge fan of Snoopy and she collects all of these different book bags. And this one particular book bag lit up and it's just so crazy what they're doing with these bags and how addictive. Like now I want one, but probably not a Snoopy one. I don't know. But I started telling her about Disney and all the different scandals in the movies, and she did not know about this. And a little light bulb went off, and I said, "Oh, this is exactly what I got to talk about on the show." Okay, here we go. Here we go. So over the years, the Walt Disney Company has been faced with various scandals, including accusations of plagiarism, especially The Lion King. From the I'm gonna mess this up too. The Kimba, the White Lion, harmful racial stereotypes in older films like Dumbo, The Aristocrats, Song of the South, which we will get into a lot of these, to whitewashing allegations in the movie Mulan, which this would be more geared towards the remakes. This is why we don't remake classics. You see, get ourselves into trouble. And more modern issues like being a cultural touchstone in political debates in the Snow White casting, which we all know that was a little bit crazy. The Lion King was widely accused of copying plot lines and characters from the original movie Osamu Tezuka's Japanese version, manga, anime Kimba the White Lion. The 1941 version of Dumbo was hit with racial stereotypes, and the Crows, particularly with the stereotypical Black accents and Jim Crow references, did not make that movie more into a successful thing. Obviously, the 1970 movie The Aristocrats. If you haven't seen that, definitely Google, guys. A Siamese cat character as an anti-Asian culture. These are just little things that, the Disney company has been accused of and has gone through many different lawsuits, allegedly. Disney created Song of the South, the 1946, is still the only movie, the most controversial film to this day, because of the post-Civil War plantation. It's never been released in the United States. You'll never find a copy out here, but you can watch it. They do have it on YouTube and different other sites that will show it. So if you're interested in watching it, you can. But it's the one and only controversial movie to this date that Disney, unfortunately, has not released in the United States. Fun facts. Mulan, the 2020 version in the United States, also faced racial issues for whitewashing concern and boycotts over casting and production in China. Then it was alleged subliminal messages in the movies, and a separate but more conspiracy theory driven type of scandal involved claims that various groups that classic Disney animated films contain hidden or subliminal sexual messages. Now, it's been said over the years that this has come out allegedly from disgruntled employees. We don't know this, but there has also been other, let's just say, things that I can see why they did what they did, or for over hours, management abuse, all types of things. Again, allegedly, we don't know if this is true or not. Here are a few of the movies that have the most famous examples. Is an alleged sex spelled out in The Lion King. Now, in the movie The Lion King, when Simba throws himself on the rock and the leaves come out, you will see the word spell out sex. Now, it's clear as day, though throughout the years, the Disney producers and the Disney company have always stated that this does not spell out sex. This spells SFX for Special Effects Department. But we don't really know that, because when we see it, and now keep in mind, when you do watch these movies and you look for these things, you will have to pause it, or you put it in slow motion so that way you can be able to see these little moments in the Disney films. Oh my God, I'm corrupting you guys. But the special effects team has always said that in the Lion King movie, no, that is not true. It spells SFX. But I will leave that imagination up to you guys if you want to see it. The other thing is that a lot of these subliminal messages are in the original movie. So if you have the newer versions, then you may not be able to see a lot of the subliminal messages that are hidden inside the Walt Disney films. So if you do have those original classics, which I am one, I like to collect all of these goodies. I still have a lot of, I was able to go back on some of these and actually see them. So I was like, oh my God, And The Rescuers Down Under, the company recalled $3.4 million copies because an animator allegedly inserted a brief 2-frame image of a nude woman, and you can actually see the nude woman in the background when the rescuers go and they're flying through the town. There's also a club scene where you can see in the background there's a poster up of a woman and she's like this, and you can see that, she's very, very nude. A lot of the newer copies, they don't have this. It has been recalled, so you can barely like see it. But again, you can, if you want to Google it on YouTube. I'm so bad. You can see it there. So, and who did not forget about Who Frames Roger Rabbit? That was probably one of my favorite movies when I was growing up. I loved Who Frames Roger Rabbit. I thought it was a great movie, especially during that time where they mixed animation and they mixed, reality into one, and then you had Cool World after that. It was great. There is a scene in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where Jessica Rabbit, now come on, Jessica Rabbit was like the sexiest cartoon throughout the whole film. So, how could you mix sexual scandal and a movie together? Well, when Jessica Rabbit gets thrown out of the car and she is spinning on the floor, her dress slightly moves up, and you can actually, when you put it on slow motion, you can actually tell that let's just say Miss Jessica is not wearing any panties in there. Again, allegedly. But you guys, again, can see it for yourselves. And I probably have shocked everybody. Everybody's going to start looking for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I don't know whether or not if you can still see it in the newer version, but if you slow it down in the older version, you definitely can tell that she is not wearing any panties. Moving on to a lot of people's favorite, The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid, the original cover. For those that do not know this, the cover has been made a couple of times, but the original cover was in the shape of a man's, let's just say, dong, dong, dong. Now, it's been alleged that the original artist that was creating the cover during the time was working throughout so many hours, and he was so sleepy that he did not really put two and two together that the castle was in the shape of a man's. But it is clear as day if you look at the original cover, and you can Google that. Everything that I am actually telling you guys, you can Google for yourselves. But let's just say that the castle at the time looked like the shape of a cucumber. So, and it's very, very clear as day that there's a lot of cucumbers in there. So, and then the artist was not even, he, again, allegedly he was working all types of hours, and someone mentioned it to him a couple of weeks later or a week later, and well, then that's when they had to change it, and that's why you see Ariel on the rocks with the fish and everything, and the design is completely different. Also, fun fact, in The Little Mermaid, at the end, when Eric is about to marry Ursula when she's undercover as a human, the priest is a little happy. If you did not notice that scene, you can they allegedly, it has been said that it's the priest's knee that's sticking out, but we have a bigger imagination, and it looks like the priest is kind of happy, if you understand what I mean. It is clear as day, and you can actually stop it and actually see how happy he is. So, um, you guys can see it for yourselves. There have also been other controversies allegedly with the Little Mermaid when she is stripped from her fins and she comes up and she's looking at her feet, and she noticed that she's a human, and she's looking at her feet, and the crab um goes into the water. Let's just say that the crab is that part where she's like, oh, is because the crab is kind of inserting himself in areas which we will not diverge too much into this episode, if you understand what I'm saying. Read between the lines, guys. I have not seen this. I have looked over it allegedly. I don't know if this is true or not. And I have definitely have been trying to Google to see whether or not if this is one of them. But these are one of the accusations in that clip right there that people have said, oh, that actually happens. Again, I could not notice it. I have seen all the other things, but that one in particular, I don't know. So we're gonna hold off on that one a little bit. You can decipher that one for yourself. So, who doesn't love Aladdin? And probably many people would just probably say, not Aladdin. Yes, Aladdin. Probably one of the greatest films that Disney has come out with, though that they've had many, many, many. But the Aladdin part where he goes to visit Jasmine and he's already transformed himself into the prince. It has been said over and over and over that Aladdin does not say this, but I have heard this over and over and over, and I've slowed it down and I've replayed it, and it just does sound like Aladdin says, "Good teenagers take their clothes off." Um, Again, they are saying that that is not what is said in the movie, but you guys can listen to yourself. You guys can let me know if what you guys think that you hear, but that is exactly what I hear. Aladdin saying, good teenagers take their clothes off. Allegedly. And The Hunchback of Notre Dame. This was not one of my favorites, but of course, this was not going to be something that I was shocked about. For those that have seen the movie, there's a part where Esmeralda is dancing and she turns herself into a thing of flames. And in the flames, it's very noticeable that Esmeralda is very, very naked, and you can see her breasts. You can see everything. It is clear as day that, her nipples are exposed in the flames. So that actually kind of surprised me because it's very clear as day in that part. So the movie Hercules, when the river guardian gets hit on the head with the horseshoes, everybody remembers this part. And again, if you haven't seen all of the Disney movies, that is perfectly fine. So don't worry. You can Google a lot of this. But when he gets hit on the head with the horseshoes, you see that he gets a knot on his head, but it raises up and it is in the shape of a man's penis. You can see it as clear as day. Disney could not even explain themselves with this one because, oh, yeah, you see the knot with the two balls. Okay, there's just no hiding this one. And if you guys have not seen Cause, the movie, in the car scenes, this has also been a big controversy. With the lemon scene, there is a huge party that goes on, and all you see is the lemons on the table, right? But it's considered a lemon party. I am not going to go too deep into what a lemon party is, but if you do not know what it is, by all means, Google. You will be as shocked as I was when I researched what a lemon party is. And the Grinch that stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey episode. What a lot of people don't know in those movies is that there are little subliminal messages as well. Now I was shocked about this because this is more of Jim Carrey. This is a remake of not a cartoon tune, right? But the party scene with all the hooves, It turns out that the Hooves are actually having the key party. Again, I'm not going to go too deep in what a key party is, but let's just say couples switch up at a key party. So I was very, very shocked and unaware that I've seen this movie quite a few times. Probably not one of my favorite remakes, because I'm not really big on the remake movies as it is. But I was quite shocked that they would put a key party in that movie. So, hey, why not, right? 2020, we're going into 2026. Why not? I remember a time where you could even curse on TV. So what the hell? So let's have a key party or a lemon party. On the cover of Tangled, that those have not for those who have not seen that movie Tangles, oh my god, you have to see it. It's such a great, great classic movie. Um it reminds me of it's one of those like yes, it is Rapunzel, but and that's basically what it is, Rapunzel. But on the cover of Tangled, you'll see that the guy is tied up in her hair, and if you look closely and actually flip it, uh, so that way it's a rectangle shape, you can see that the word does spell out sex. So that is another little hidden little thing that Disney, come on. We could get away with the Lion King, okay, the SFX, but mm, I don't know how you're going to be able to explain the one in Tangled because that one is as clear as day. It does spell out sex. So allegedly, we don't want to get sued, but it's written in her hair. You can see it. And I've looked at it several, several, several times. So, shame on you. In the movie Cinderella, we're going to keep moving on, where Gus is trying to grab all the beads and they put the beads on Gus's tail. So that is a sexual S&M kind of a thing. And if you pause it at one particular spot, you'll see Gus kind of as if one of the balls goes into Gus, allegedly. This probably took me not by shock, but because I've only remember it as a child, and it's not one of the movies that I would ever go back to because it wasn't high on my list. But the movie Bambi, and I probably people are going to be like, "Oh my god, what is going on?" So with Bambi, when they're exploring the snow, Bambi and Thumper in the woods, you can see Thumper's face go into Bambi's booty. And if you stop it, you can kind of see how it's actually shaped in there. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, stop it. No, you can definitely see it. There's also another scene where in the woods, you can see Bambi and something else going on in slow motion. Allegedly, again, these have been things that have been explains. So I'm just saying. In Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it has been classically known that it has always been weird that one woman and all of these dwarves all live together. So, but these are all little snippets of things that happen in Disney movies. You guys can Google them on YouTube if you would like, or search the internet for more if you're interested in these things. I know that, listen, Disney comes out with so many things every single time. And again, it has been explained that they don't know who it comes from. It could be from disgruntled employees, it could be anything, things that we kind of want to be imaginary, leave things into our minds. But at the end of the day, I always say use your mind in the best way that you can, but some of these things are clear enough to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. I hope I didn't fuck everybody up. Everybody's destroyed their childhood. No. Let me just say, I have I've known about this for many, many, many years. Um, and it's always shocking or comical for me to see people's reaction when I do tell them about all the scandals in the Disney movies because they're like, no, no, that is my favorite movie. You are not going to destroy that movie for me. But, these are things that are actually clear as day. So I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful weekend and you enjoy this episode. Next week, we're going to be back. It's going to be 2026, guys. Oh my God. I hope you guys have big plans. And for those that don't do too much over New Year's, don't worry about it. Listen, it's better to be safe than, things being out in the street. It's getting crazy out there. Unfortunately, this world is getting crazy. So until 2026, I'll see you guys next week. Love you guys so much.